And there's our answer. Cool. Let's get out of Bandit 4. Let's move on. So another one in here. Maybe in here. All right. So this one is somewhere in the in here directory. It has all of the following properties. It's human readable. It is 1033 bytes in size, and it is not executable. So we'll just take a second to try and do this manually, even though I think we all know at this point that we're not going to be able to do it manually. There's probably some sort of command to help us find what we're looking for. But let's just take a look. Let's look in here. What kind of stuff do we have in here? A bunch of files. What about in maybe here, 01. And then a bunch more files. So this is not something we can do manually. There, however, is a couple things that we can do. There is a couple things we can do. One of them, and this is kind of the, let's do some hand-fisted stuff again. In here, we can do, instead of just doing ls like this, we can do ls, I like al again, and then r for recursive. That gives us every file below us in every subdirectory, right? And then we know that, why are we doing it this way? So to help me kind of explain things as we go, I'm looking back at my notes that I wrote, you know, like half a decade ago. And I was much less savvy with Linux back then. So what I'm doing here is I do B10. I don't think I want B10. So we'll grep 1033. The reason I do it this way is because I'm kind of being silly. I want to AS or LS minus ALR. This gives us the recursive. This will show us. So let's just do this without the grep first. So this shows us everything, right? Oh, that's why I did the 10. I need to see what directory it's in. That's okay. All right. So I do a thing grep B10 1033. This is a bad way to do it, and the reason I'm showing you this is because this is the sort of solution that somebody that doesn't know all of the tools available to them, this is the way they might do it. And the old adage goes, the correct way to do it is the way that gives you the correct answer, right? And that's true on the job, but reinforcing these less efficient ways to do things is not necessarily good. And just because it works in this specific use case doesn't mean it'll work in another use case. So what we're doing here is we want to find the line here that has 1033. So we know that it's 1033 bytes. So we're looking for the 1033 bytes, and we'll make sure that it's executable, or that it's not executable. So this is a manual way to do things. So in here, we see 1033, and it's in maybe here 07, and we can see that it's not executable. So how would we do this otherwise? There's a program called, or there's a program, an application, a utility, if you will, called find. And find is amazing for doing exactly that. You can find all kinds of stuff with it using a pretty simple syntax. You can do a lot more advanced stuff with it with more advanced syntax, but really the simple syntax is the way to go. So the way it works is you do find, and then you do where you want to find. So it can be dot. So we're going to use dot because we want to find something in this directory structure. It could be slash. It could be a a partial path. So we want to find everything that's in Bandit 5 that matches what we want, etc. So we're just going to do dot. I actually always forget the command syntax here. So sometimes you can always do, for those who don't know, man is a command that will, it's short for manual, and it'll show you all of the documentation for our command. which is really handy. But say you're like midway through typing a command, or and you don't have another window, or you're not running screen, or you just find it easier to use it in a browser. You can just type man find, and you'll get so many responses that will show you exactly the man page for whatever you're looking for. I did not want to click on that. All right, so some interesting options here. There's a lot, as you can see. Like I said, you can do a lot of crazy stuff with find. You can do the max depth, how far down you want to go, the minimum number of depths you want to go. You can look for names. So if you do find in this one and you want to do name, let's do spaces. I want to find all of the names that have spaces in it. Oh. Anything that starts with spaces. It'll tell you the entire path of everything. Okay. So that's kind of a sample of how this works. And there's that wild card again, right? So I want everything that starts with spaces and has stuff after it, including nothing after it. But if we wanted, say we wanted file. This is anything that has something before it, file, and then something after it. So it looks like everything either has a dot or a dash or spaces in front of it. Cool. So some of the other stuff that we can do, what are the things that we need? We need it to be human readable, so we need a file format of some sort. We need to figure out how big the file is, and then we should see the permissions. So let's see if we can find something like that. So we're looking in tests. This is the test that it runs against the files that it finds. So executable. I don't want it to be executable. So maybe we need perm instead. Maybe we can find a way to make this opposite. So perm. Let's see here. How do I set the not? Find not X. Oh. Okay. So underneath here we see size, right? So how do we do? We know exactly what size it is. So size 1033 bytes. Hmm. that gonna work? No. Oh, C for bytes because, reasons. So there's only one thing that's 1033 bytes in size, but we want to make sure, say there's other use cases, there's other files in here that are 1033. So we want to, we also want, can we do executable, right? Saw this up here. Executable. Okay, cool. And then the last thing is that we can pipe the output here into file. Nope. Can we redirect? No. Oh, then I'm dumb. So find has things for this, exec specifically. So anything that comes back true from our tests, we'll run exec on it. We'll exec file. If I recall correctly, yeah, the string is replaced by the current file. So this should work. Nope. Missing argument to exec. Oh. Wait. Exec command. All following arguments defined are taken to be arguments to the command. Oh, I see. Okay. Why? Missing argument to exec. This is the problem with having utility names like file. I wonder if this ampersand wasn't here. Nope. Hmm. All right, well, I'm not sure why that's not working, but we have our file, so we should just be able to, can we do this? No. Nope. Oh, what about, okay. So the output's a little weird, but we're at least we're catting the result of this. So much like the find loop that we saw above, or the for loop that I demonstrated. Is that here? No. Much like the for loop that we demonstrated, all of this syntax is saying is that take the output of this, whatever the output of this is, and then do something with it. So in this case, we're directing it into cat, which gives us this password. What are we doing next? For the next level is stored somewhere on the server, has all of the following properties. So we're going to be using find again. So set up our find, and somewhere on the server we're going to be finding from root / root downward. So it's going to be owned by Bandit 7, owned by user Bandit 7, owned by group Bandit 6, and size 33. So we already know size 33C because bytes is C for reasons. Man find again, and we're going to find. Not used to not having ad blockers, but hack naked and all that. Okay, tests. So we want to find owner is probably going to be -owner or -user. -user. Okay, so -user. It's going to be owned by Bandit 7. And I assume group, but we'll see. Group name, okay, and it's going to be Bandit 6. And we got the size in there. Oh, the command flag or the option is group. Okay, so what we're getting here is this is all going to standard out. So, or a standard error. So there's multiple text channels in Linux. The two that you really care about are standard out and standard error. Oh, and standard in, I guess. And you can do different redirects. When you're doing a redirect, like echo foo to help or something, what you're actually doing is echoes this to standard out, and this is redirecting standard out into help. Or redirecting the output of this command into help. However, there are ways that you can redirect things to standard out, redirect things to standard in, redirect both standard out and standard in into a file, redirect standard error to dev null, etc., which is what we're going to do. Redirect std error to null. So if you see here, this is redirect standard out to a file. Redirect standard out to a file as well. This is a shortcut. This is important. This redirects standard error to a file, and this redirects both standard out and standard error into a file. So as we know, because we are now Linux gurus, everything is a file in Linux. That includes this machination called devnull, which is literally just nothing. It is the emptiness, the abyss, the great nothing. It is the thing that Cthulhu will rise from when he comes to claim us all. Everything that goes to devnull disappears. Everything that comes from devnull, there is nothing that comes from devnull. It is a black hole. So let's do this, and then we're going to to arrow devnull. So to arrow dev. So what this should do is that we want to get all of this, but all of the standard error stuff, all of this crap, we don't want. So we're just going to throw it to devnull. Everything else we'll get. And there you go. That's how you get rid of all of this crap. This kind of stuff comes up a lot, and I don't have my buffer set up differently on this bash for Windows, so if you can see here, we only really have a little bit of history. So if we had more history, it wouldn't be as much of a problem. We could kind of sort through this stuff if we wanted, but since we only have a little bit of history, sometimes that's just the way it is. We only want to see our result. So that's that, and then if we remember, we should be able to redirect all of that into cat. No, we can't, probably because we're redirecting devnull. I'm really bad with redirects. That's my Achilles heel, by the way, if you haven't been able to tell. That's something that I need to get a lot better at. But we'll just go ahead and cat this. And exit. And let this be a lesson to you.